Hey, everybody, it's not Tuesday. It is Friday for Bombcast Revengeance. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb from GiantBomb.com, joined by two very special people from Giant Bomb, Timur Hussein and Lucy James. How's it going, Tam?
Going well. I'm excited to be on the Revengeance.
Glad to have you. We are going to have you catch us up on Erdtree, give us some more thoughts on that. And then Lucy, meanwhile, how them hobbits? What them hobbits do?
What them hobbits do, indeed. Yeah, I played some of Tales of the Shire, so I can tell you all about that. I also met a hobbit recently, so this is a very hobbity episode for me.
I'm excited. And then I've decided for the second section, instead of doing some game, because what I wanted to do was a Mount Rushmore of UK 1980s and 1990s computers. And maybe if you guys think it's a good idea, because I'm really, what I want is, I want you guys to tell me what computers you grew up with, and if I were to go back and look into this, what I should do.
No, dog.
Pam says, don't do it.
You are considerably older than us.
I don't remember what
I
PC
did not
I
have
had
a
something.
computer.
I had something with Windows 95 on it, then 98.
Okay, so you guys. Okay,
I definitely had,
I'm interested in that too.
Amstrad.
Okay. Then I know what the conversation is. It's
I'm going to text my dad.
Okay, that's fantastic. But really, what I want to talk about is what you guys were playing while I was playing Nintendo. Were you playing Nintendo, or was there something else that was big in your place instead? But we can have that conversation when we get there.
Yes. Let me text Dad James.
Man, you're considerably older, Tam.
No, I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you.
No, it's all good. All right, let's start with Elden Ring. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. It's out now. Launched basically yesterday. Today's really the launch day. Whatever. Everyone's playing it. It is being described by many people as Elden Ring 2 in a lot of ways. Tam, do you think that's a fair descriptor?
I do not think that's a fair descriptor.
Very interesting. Okay, so how would you describe it to people?
I would describe it as DLC for Elden Ring.
That seems pretty silly. You sound like a real asshole right now, Tam.
I feel like the way I say it is the way I tell people is they put a Dark Souls game in Elden Ring. In terms of how
that's interesting. Okay.
What it's I feel like that's the best encapsulation of what that game is, because it feels like Elden Ring, but it's tighter in the way that a Dark Souls game would be. The major difference between it has a field area and overworld, if you want to call it that, but the specific areas that you go into, they feel interconnected. Instead of having pathways that connect each area, instead it's just all on the main map, and you just move between them. So there's more tissue in between.
Okay.
The kind of various muscles of the
denser.
Weird. Yeah, it's denser. But in terms of also how it's played, or how it plays out, it's roughly 30 hours, which is about the amount of time you'd probably be playing a game like Dark Souls for. And yeah, it feels more like they added a kind of major expansion. I think of it closer to something like a World of Warcraft style expansion, minus all the online stuff, whereas it's meaty. It's got a whole new area, it's got new enemies, it's got items and stuff like that. So for me, it feels like more of an expansion, but we just don't use the word expansion much anymore these days, unless it's outside of MMOs.
MMOs still get expansion. Yes, I was just thinking that as well.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how I describe it and present it to other people. A Dark Souls in Elden Ring.
And we talked about this on Game Mess Mornings today. A lot of people are finding it very difficult. It was challenging for me, but I had to do this thing, so I thought I had a save ready to go, and apparently I did start New Game Plus and then just forgot. And I must have played it for a couple hours. So I started up and I'm like, why don't I have any the Sites of Grace unlocked? There's 2 Sites of Grace here. That doesn't seem like enough. And then I realized I did the New Game Plus thing. So I went and grabbed a save file and I had to do this whole thing to inject it into the game. It wasn't too difficult. That is on if people are wondering if there's a shortcut to do that. Yeah, it's on the some mod sites. I think Gamers Nexus or whatever it is. Nexus mods.
It's fairly easy to do.
Do you still get achievements if you do that?
Yeah, because it's just a save file.
It's a save state. Yeah.
It's just a save file. It's also like it doesn't ping any servers or anything like that, so you won't get banned for it or anything like that. There are
So you're
definitely
saying I could have done
there.
this instead of
doing
killing the little Mogren palace.
Yeah, but I feel like I recommend it if you're someone that has played a bunch of it and feel confident.
Yeah, that was my issue.
If you haven't, and you just grab a save file and go in, you've cheated yourself and the game.
Well, I can tell you what happened. Even as someone who I beat the game, I played 150 hours. I haven't played really in 2 years, and I'm playing a character that is very different than the character I'm used to. I had a magic casting character, and now I'm in there with very much not that a strength build. It seems like mostly, and I was like the first mini boss I came across. I was really struggling because I just couldn't get the timing down on anything. So it was rough.
You want the muscle memory to kick in again and warm up. The sharpness around how to tackle, and also like the mentality. It's a different way to play games. And I feel like if you just jump in after not playing for since the original release, you will get kicked about a bit. So like if you're the kind of person who's like, I play these games, I'm very confident in this, I just accidentally went into New Game Plus or I lost my save file, then it's fine. That's fine. And there's files out there that are like, hey, I've collected every single thing in the game.
That seems to be what this save file I'm using is kind of like.
There's a bunch of larval tiers, so you can also just respec by going to Renala and Rael Lucaria, and then you're good. You can set up your own build and you're good to go.
Yeah. Someone said that they didn't add any achievements in Erdtree.
I don't think so. I don't remember anything popping up.
Because I figured like
PC.
Oh yeah, we didn't have achievements. So that means I still got my platinum, baby. Because I wondered, like, as I was playing, if they just hadn't turned them on yet because we were playing pre-release.
I don't think they have any. I don't know if they have any on. Isn't it a prerequisite on like PlayStation?
Yeah, on console I thought it's like, well, maybe not for DLC.
Yeah, maybe not for DLC is what it is.
It's definitely expected by a lot of fans, I think. So there will probably be some people whining about that. But I'll say that once I started to get the hang of things, though, there at the end, it did take about an hour of playing after I finally got the thing installed and got past that thing. It was like, okay, I'm feeling this. I could also just tell it is kind of difficult. It is challenging, more challenging than I was expecting. Even on Elden Ring, I definitely consider to be a challenging game. I could see them like really, and it's the way you described it, Tam. It's not just like density of content and that connective tissue. I think they're just like, they really want to give you the difficult Dark Souls experience right away, and they're not going to hold it back. So, but I'm excited by that. That is something I'm finding very enticing.
Yeah, it still has a very manageable difficulty curve. Difficulty is relative. So if you're the kind of person that never has completed these games or you don't get on with them, nothing's changed. But even though it's difficult, if you have played the original game or played Dark Souls, you'll be fine. Like they don't just crank up the difficulty and like leave you to it, and it's hard because of that. There's actual thought and design put into the way the difficulty works, and it's reflected in the way enemies ramp up, and there's a whole delicate science to the way they make these games that goes far beyond they just made it harder. It's like they made it harder, but they do that knowing how to do it while making it achievable for pretty much everyone, as long as you're willing to persevere and engage it in the way that they kind of outline they create the template for.
The 95 on Metacritic, not that it matters too much, but I was pretty impressed by that. You think it earned that? You think it's like one of the highest rated games of all time? Just this DLC?
I think the thing that's going to be the discussion this year is it legible for Game of the Year?
Yeah, I think that'll happen.
And like, from my personal perspective, I don't see why not. I think we talked about Cyberpunk when Phantom Liberty came out as potential
it was in our top 10.
Well. Yeah, it was in our top 10. But we discussed it as if it could have been, it was in the running to potentially get Game of the Year for us. So from a GameSpot perspective, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is going to be in contention. I do wonder if it's the same for like, the one that people really think of like as prestigious, and the others like the Game Awards and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, DICE. Yeah.
That one's a bit trickier. I think if we go based on like previous years, I don't think they accept DLC as Game of the Year contenders.
I can't remember. Yeah, because
Cyberpunk got best ongoing game.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't
here's your
think
best ongoing
BAFTA
game.
does either. BAFTA got they got
No.
like the community one or something.
Yeah. That is like, for me, I think that's. I said the same with Cyberpunk, where it's like the scale of things these days are so significant that I think that we need to reassess what DLC really is and consider it each one on its own merits. I think the thought in these kind of scenarios is very outdated, where DLC is still treated as, we've added another gun, or we've added some armor to it, or that kind of thing. Whereas this is a game that was made across multiple years and features a significant content injection, and it even has a little bit of an overhaul on the previous content. So I would think like that would warrant and merit looking at it as its own thing again. And like I said, I thought the same for Cyberpunk as well. Yeah.
Lucy, so you've been playing. How deep into the DLC are you?
That is difficult to say. I have done more than I did in the 3-hour preview session.
Right.
But I spent a lot of time at the very beginning because I felt I was underleveled. I just explored a bunch. So I definitely found a couple of areas that I was not supposed to. I think I'm about 10 or so hours in. I started a new save on PC in my because I'm afraid I'm an elite gamer now.
Of course. I'm afraid of that too.
Sponsored by NZXT.
Yeah.
Elite gamers.
Genuinely, I'm playing on my N60 machine. I haven't had a single problem. I restarted it a few weeks ago before we did the preview session. So I already had a run, and I have my little fucker build on my Dex Bleed, Poison, Rot build. So I've been kind of working my way through that, slaying Albinaurics. Right now, I don't want to say where I am, but I've I'm
How many bosses have you beaten?
There's 16 total bosses in this or something.
Well, that's the thing.
Like
who counts as a boss and who is just like
16 I think is
because I've
including
I've beaten 4 that have a big health bar.
Okay, yeah, those are the main bosses. Yeah,
but no, I don't think I have, because I've explored, and one of them was definitely not like I did not have to beat that dragon.
Oh yeah, no, you don't have to fight all of them.
Yeah, there's definitely some optional bosses. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So it's like I've beaten 4 with a big health bar, but I don't, because I won't be able to see it as a linear kind of like the way that I've tackled the game linearly until I've finished it. So I really have no idea where I am, and I have no idea. So
I think there's
4 bosses.
I think there's like 10 core bosses that are like, hey, these are linked to story in a meaningful, big way, and you don't have to beat all of them. You can. It's the same as with the main game. You don't have to get. You can defeat 2 of the.
Because the main game was like 100
demigods.
and something. It's like mad.
Yeah.
Like big health bar. But one of them, though, I will say was I basically had a Godzilla let them fight moment, because I found a big dragon and he was getting attacked by a bunch of boys. And I literally just sat on the cliff and watched. But then I felt really bad because I thought the dragon was going to beat all the little boys. And then the dragon glitched. And was just stood still. And so there was this one soldier just hacking away at the leg. It took like 10 minutes. I was texting Tam in it, and I was like, I don't feel good about this.
No, it counts, though. That's how it works.
Fair.
It does
fair is fair.
Yeah.
So I'm safe to say you're enjoying it, Lucy.
Oh, I love it.
Good.
Yeah. God. I tweeted out when the embargo was up, but I was like, one thing I was worried about was that I think playing Elden Ring more than anything else, like, I know people will say the same about Breath of the Wild, but I actually felt that Breath of the Wild, in comparison, there weren't the beautiful, like, distinct environments and like that feeling of certainly not. And so I didn't feel. I was worried that I wouldn't get that sense of wonder. And then I was playing, and there's a point where I saw this castle. And there was the tree at the top of it, and there was like a big fire golem Like, and it just looked like a painting. And I was like, oh my God, I get to explore that and I get to, exist in that. And I've been obsessed. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
All right. So then, if I like were to ask like for some pointers about how to get through this first little bit, right now I got the blasphemous sword, and I am trying to go light armor so I can dodge and kind of get in there, do some swings, and then occasionally do the big fire attack with that sword. It seems to mostly be working. I'm worried that I'm going to get like to a point where it's like, nah, dodging's not going to help you here. You need to rethink your entire strategy. But I don't know.
No,
I'm good.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you're good. As long as the weapons that you pick will scale up. Your damage output will scale up depending on the amount of Erdtree fragments that you find.
Yeah, can you explain that for people who like? Because I just got the hang of that too. So Erdtree fragments are like basically leveling up in the DLC and only the DLC. Is that basically right?
Yeah. So they are a separate stat, a series of stats. Which if you go into your status screen, you'll see yellow ones there. They depending on how much you get of them, that goes up, but the moment you return to the lands between, that stuff isn't in play anymore. The weapons are fine. Any like core levels that you've done are fine. The Erdtree and the other stuff that you collect on there, the Spirit Ash blessings, are won't come into play there. So it's basically specific to this DLC to make sure that you don't go back overpowered and like kill everything immediately.
Am I going to be finding those in like pots?
So they're actually like the majority, a significant number of them are around the Michaelis crosses.
Okay.
So the kind of symbol that they tell you to go and look for to show where Michaelis pathing has been.
Okay.
You'll find a bunch there. There's also remember that pot character that we just told you to go and attack?
Mm-hmm.
And you went the other way instead. Some of those
cowardly, yes.
Some of those will have them as well. And then there's certain enemies that I won't say what they are, animalistic enemies that you'll encounter at some point that will drop them as well. Beyond that, beyond that, it's just kind of like you will find them here and there after you defeat enemies or just like hanging about in certain areas. There's not it reaches a point where you have to like collect 3, I think it is, and then they become a singular upgrade. So as you got to hunt them down. I think you can go up 20 levels, Erdtree levels, I believe it is.
Okay.
That's if you collect every single one.
And it's like it does like scale, like you were saying, like my first one was like just 1, and then it's like, well, now to go to the next level, you need 2, and I'm assuming it's going to do that each time. I need 3, and then 4.
No, I think it stays at 3. After 3 is where it caps out.
Okay.
And even if you get like every single one of them, the bosses don't become trivial at all.
That does not seem like it's on the table.
It continues to be rough. If you can't cakewalk it, you have to actually play the game properly.
Right.
And then the Spirit Ash blessings they do the same thing. So they upgrade your attack power. The Erdtree ones upgrade your attack power and damage negation for yourself. The Spirit Ash does it for Torrent, your steed, and also any Spirit Ash summons. So if you're summoning a Spirit Ash, it will be more powerful if you collect the Spirit Ash blessings.
And the
those are found more in the world, I think.
Okay. The summonings, I wasn't able to summon, and that was just because I was like in like a dungeon that wasn't allowing it, right? Because I was like, I could summon things, and then it wasn't working. And I'm like, wait, I just think that's just because of where I'm at.
No, there's certain areas which you can summon. It's usually around like big boss areas, and enemies, areas with lots of enemies nearby. Usually you can see if it's going to be a big fight or a scrap, they'll let you summon there.
Okay.
And it's kind of similar for, summoning other players. There are specific areas where you can summon that are best placed for it.
And for both of you, how do I beat the Black Jail Knight?
Haven't done it. I ran away. No, I saw that fucker in the preview, and I tried him like 3 times. I just absolutely not.
If I remember correctly, you run in, immediately run to the left, and let him spray his bullets. Close the gap, attack twice, pause, and when he pauses, he'll backstep. The moment he starts his backstep, jump forward and strike. and do 2 attacks again, and he'll backstep again, and you basically caught him in a loop. So just keep jumping towards him, and like when he tries to create space, don't let him have it.
If you remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I remember correctly.
Because there's a bunch of those lads knocking about.
Here.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of those lads that they all behave a bit differently as well.
Great news. They have Twitch drops for Elden Ring, and they've got the little like eel thing. And so I got him.
Pool noodle.
Yeah, I got him. And what's the other one? There was another one.
It's the wolf knight.
I think it's a badge, though. I don't think it's an actual emote. But yeah, I've got him.
Yeah, it's fun. I want the pool noodle lad. They can be deadly if you're not careful.
Yes, I accidentally got fucked up by one of them, and I was like, no,
yeah,
please, I didn't mean to hit you.
To begin with, they only attack you when you're like hitting them, and then you get some other types as well later on that are a little more aggro, which is fun.
I did see a little bit of Maximilian Dude, I believe, was streaming this in 4K on Twitch, and I was like, oh, we're there, we're finally there, where like that can actually work, and boy, the game looks just really good. It's that's the first thing that hit me when I got back in. It's like, oh yeah, the best artists in the world working on like one of the biggest games ever, and it's just such a joy to look at everything. The big fire guy that's right at the front. When am I going to be able to beat him?
You can fight him immediately.
I know I can
if you want to.
That's not what I asked.
I mean, like
he's
doable.
Okay.
Immediately.
Okay. Hashtag doable. All right.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that you have to be careful about is you will die a bunch of times to learn its attack patterns. And its attacks are quite like AoE fire stuff, so you have to be very precise with like dodging his fire, and it can be tricky. Even I struggle with it still. Like I've beaten a bunch of them, and sometimes I'll get like, oh, the arena will fuck me up, or I'll just like didn't predict the right attack there.
Right, the fire's got a much bigger area than I was expecting when I went in there.
They are worth doing though, because they give you the tiers that you can put into your physic. And they have some cool new tiers that mess with properties in a very fun way. So they are tricky to do. You can like once you've gone up a few scatter tree levels, maybe try one. But they're fun.
Last thing, did either of you try there's like some new ways to fight? I believe there's like a hand-to-hand combat is now a bigger thing.
Yeah, I use a bunch of that. Yeah, it's fun. The hand-to-hand stuff is good for like 1v1s, and there's certain a bit like the bear claw has a good like not AoE, but it's good at crowd control to a degree. I especially like if you put like a bleed effect or something like that on the stuff like the bear claw or whatever, it can be handy. I think they're fun. I think they're designed to be in there for freaks who want to be like, I'm going to stream myself completing the entire game using only punches and kicks, which is like
little Aggie, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely viable. I just don't find them to be particularly
that much better than anything else.
Streamlining, yeah. It's good. You're going to have a rougher because the range on attack is very small. You have to be up close and personal, which means you're in danger way more, and your ability to dodge is way more put to the test. So if you screw up, mistime something and get hit, chances are you're going to die. And you can't also panic attack your way out of things. Some people do that where they're overwhelmed, they'll just start swinging. So I started blasting, that kind of approach. But you can't really do that with well with a hand-to-hand style. I think the stuff that is really, I think a lot of people should try and give a go is the projectile weapons, which are new. Like you can, if you search, like there's a forge knocking about where you can get like, for
forges
example,
are so cool.
Yeah, they're mainly not puzzle, but it's like traversal focused. And you can get, for example, an axe that you throw. And it's unlimited, and you just keep throwing it from a distance, so you can just keep lobbing axes and stuff like that. Those are fun, and you get like kunai and things like that.
Yeah, I've got like a sphere blade.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, those are fun to do, and I think there's a lot of new like sorcery and magic stuff, which is really cool. A lot of like the holy stuff is fun. I think there's the way people combine it as well with other things is going to be where the real mileage is. I'm excited to see people grab all that stuff, go back into New Game Plus, and then power through it with all the new abilities and such. The builds are going to be wild.
Broken.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see that. Absolutely. All right, we'll be playing more Elden Ring on the website here in the next couple of weeks. Probably talk about it more on the Bombcast as well.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, Lucy James, what are the tale of the Shires?
What are the Shire Tales?
What are the Shire Tales?
The Shire Tales. No, so I played Tales of the Shire, which is coming out at some point this year, being made by Weta, published by Private Division, and as a big Lord of the Rings fan, first of all, can I just say how nice it is to have a game that's not set during the War of the Ring. It's set beforehand. So it's set somewhere in between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I didn't get the exact year. It's a weird one because it is a farming sim. And I think the real fulfillment of those games, not farming sim, sorry, but like cozy genre.
Animal Crossing kind of.
There is farming in it. There's Animal Crossing. There's relationship building. So I'm using farming as a generalized.
I think people know what you mean. Yes,
people get it. I mean, you can lay crops and everything and grow your own stuff, and then. So it's very difficult to get across in half an hour just how that game is going to come together and see how relationships with the hobbits form, or there's even a dwarf in there. And Gandalf comes by, and I assume other people, like I heard someone reference Bilbo, and, I'm interested to see, hey, is this going to be around the time maybe that Bilbo adopts Frodo? Or, so it remains to be seen in terms of story stuff. One thing I think they definitely nailed, and this was from like a very limited hands-on time with it, is that like the Shire is this safe haven. Like that's how Tolkien always wrote it. It's like, the allegory that people use, and Tolkien hated allegory, but it's like, it's England. It's green, it's lush. People are like simple townsfolk. They have a community. And like, I think that vibe they totally nailed. The one thing I would say is that like, everything hinges, like they've done it in a very clever way where it's like everything hinges around the fact that hobbits love food. So what's the best way to increase your standing with other hobbits? Cook meals.
Yeah.
And the demo that I did first was like, there was a lot of that. And there's different ways, like they'll tell you they prefer it salty, or like a recipe calls for it to be salty, and you can adapt, which kind of, if you have this kind of mushroom will make it a little saltier, but then there's like a little graph thing essentially where you're trying to get it into the sweet spot. So every time you add a new ingredient, you can move it closer into that zone to try and get it perfect. And the better it is, the more it will be loved by the other hobbits. It's very cute. But the one thing that I think, like I said, was difficult to gauge is like how the relationship's actually going to work, because it was very limited in terms of how much I could interact with everyone, because I would walk around, like they basically give me free reign to run around Hobbiton, and they were just like, oh yeah, go chat to whoever. But everyone didn't have dialogue for me because it was like a weird part of the vertical slice. So there were only really like 2 or so quests that I could actually do, and I couldn't, it's also, I get why, because of ratings shit. But you can go to the Green Dragon, but you can't drink alcohol. There is no pipe weed.
We'll get the modders on this immediately for you. Don't worry.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
But it was really cute. I think the one thing that I really liked about it was they let me come back, and I was able to mess around with the home decoration part of it.
Okay.
Which was like, I was really impressed with the tools. So as someone who's played a lot of The Sims, especially in The Sims 4, you have to get really creative, or you have to download mods to be able to like position things in a way to have clutter. Like clutter in The Sims building is like super important to make it look less like everything is attached to a grid, and like to make it look lived in. The tools that I was able to use in The Hobbit, in Tales of the Shire, were really, really good. Like in terms of moving stuff around, in terms of like palette, in terms of you could have a big arch in the middle of your hobbit hole, and you could have it be painted, or you could have it be a different kind of wood, or you could have plants on it. And so it was like very
it's like free form, but empowering. Yeah.
So it was good. I think my main concern is how it is all gonna come together.
Right.
there were a lot of like really fun little Lord of the Rings Tolkien references in it without it being like too overbearing. But there was one thing that they didn't actually have an answer for me. So when you name your hobbit, you can select from a list of hobbit names and hobbit surnames. But so there wasn't Gamgee, but there would be Sackville. So you couldn't be in like Sam and Gaffer Gamgee, but you could be a Sackville, but not a Sackville Baggins. And I was like, is that a story reason why you can't actually be doing that? Like, or is it just, you don't want someone to pretend to be Frodo's sister or whatever?
Right. Yeah.
That's probably exactly it.
100%.
Yeah. The Embracer Group, very protective of their property, of course.
Yeah. But it was cute.
Yeah, it sounds cute. It sounds like I get what you mean about it all coming together, because I think I'm like, what do I want from this game? Because I do find it I like enticing in a lot of ways. This idea of like, just come hang out with the hobbits in the Shire. That sounds so pleasant to me. It's always like my favorite part of the movies is like when we see the stuff in the Shire. That's definitely the stuff I always found the most exciting. So I'm like, okay, so once I'm there, is it like, does it not have a lot of momentum because there isn't a lot of pressure on the player to change things, or is there?
Well, that's the thing. So I asked about what is the quote unquote central conflict here. And it's basically the fact that this particular village is not recognized by Hobbiton as being a Hobbit village.
Oh, so okay. Very cool.
So they want to basically like be recognized by the other Hobbits.
You guys got to get bigger.
Oh my
so,
God.
yeah.
Like there's gonna be
citizens.
Yeah. So there's gonna be there's no Nazgul coming. Gandalf will obviously appear. Like you can see him in the trailer. I kind of love that, or like low stakes, relaxing thing. Like I just want to go foraging, or I could do this, I could do that.
You could see how it'd be like a civ, like different civ win conditions. It's like, can you improve the culture and then win? Can you improve your diplomacy? Can you make yourself so like the best beer? And now it doesn't have alcohol, but they make the best food. And then now the Hobbiton wants to be part of you. Yes.
Ted Sandyman has nukes. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Very aggressive with them for some reason. Yeah.
But like I don't think you can't go to Bree or outside of there's a barrier, and they definitely want to keep you in Hobbiton. So I just need to know how it all comes together, play more of it for an extended period of time. But as like a cozy Hobbit game, it's ticking all the boxes for me right now. But yeah, need to see more.
Excellent.
I also hate the fact that it's called Tales of the Shire, the Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah, is always a tough one.
The Lord of the Rings game.
That is bad.
Yeah, I understand why, but
yeah, I think I said the other day, and it came out, and I'm like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it would be to say, but it's not great still. The Lord of the Rings game. You have to say it.
You have to say instead of a.
Yeah, you're right.
The Lord of the Rings. The Lord. No, it's not.
No,
it's just in the logo, though.
The Lord of the Rings game. You have to like sort of change the musicality of like.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
no, you have to Tam, you have to do it like in the Elden Ring opening where it goes, the Lord of the Rings game. Ye tarnished.
The Lord of the Rings.
All right. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna wrap up this episode pretty quickly. I just want to kind of talk to these folks about some British games and stuff like that, what that was like right after this. All right, we will put the break here for Sean. For the video version, everybody, hello. We're going to come right back into it. Would you guys want to try to do a Mount Rushmore of British game developers? Would that be fun?
Sure.
I
was going to say, because my dad has not replied to me.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right, cool.
Rude.
All right. Let that noise stop, and then, all right, here we go. All right, and we are back, and let's get into it. We actually decided we're going to do a Mount Rushmore of British game developers. I definitely have some stuff that comes to mind immediately. When
Are we doing specific people, or are we doing studios?
So I was thinking studios, but would you rather do people? I mean, we can like talk this out right now.
No. I think studios.
Studios is better.
Is the right approach.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right. So I immediately think of the most British game studio, which I think is I think they're British, is Psygnosis.
Yep, Psygnosis.
I think the most British. I think they're British.
I think they're British. Yeah, like
Psygnosis is on there.
Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm gonna get a dot going here. Then
Right.
yeah. Whenever I just associate, like I'm like yeah, like it's like that is European to me, but I'm like I'm pretty sure they're British growing up. And now today, if like you asked me to name a British game developer, I would still say Psygnosis.
Do we are we limited to the 4 faces that are currently on Mount Rushmore?
The 4 faces of Mount Rushmore.
Well,
yes.
I mean, DMA design / Rockstar.
Right. Rockstar North was it originally?
Yeah. Well, it was DMA.
Why can't they be like the Hokage Rock in Naruto, where every time there's a new one, they add them to the. They chisel them into the
That's cowardly.
mountain.
You got to get rid of one to put another one up. I think.
You've got to play favorite.
Yes, exactly. All right, let me get this sheet going. All right,
I feel like I want to say this, but it's the recency of it is just not a great spot. Like, I want to say Rocksteady, but
well, they should be in the conversation.
Yeah,
I think so. But also, like, even I'm like, man, that Suicide Squad game though.
They definitely lost some of their luster, right? That's how I feel about them as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Sumo, Supermassive,
Rare.
Yes, Rare. Okay.
Rare.
All right.
Hello Games,
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Hello Games is a good one. Yeah, Playground.
Playground.
Let's see here. Where am I at?
I mean,
Cyrus Raven says, "Thank goodness you're here is extremely British, but is the developer British? They are. Cole Soper.
They are.
Two,
yes.
two boys,
Yeah.
two good boys.
Very good.
In the UK.
Are we counting like Eidos?
Yeah.
We can. Yeah.
Yeah, because Eidos was there for a while.
All right.
Eidos was there too.
Okay. What else did we say? We said Rare, Rocksteady. We could just consider these.
Media Molecule.
Media Molecule is the one I was going to ask you both about. Okay. Media Molecule.
Creative Assembly.
Okay.
Sumo.
Creative Assembly is a good one. Traveler's Tales. Team 17.
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory. And
No,
then
Ninja Theory's great. Lionhead.
Codemasters.
Yeah, Codemasters.
What's Rebellion? Rebellion's there, isn't it?
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. They let me shoot Hitler in the balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have
The most
Frontier?
British of activities.
Yeah. Oh, which one did you say, Lucy?
Frontier.
Oh, Frontier. Okay.
That was Evil Monkey Slayer. Said that.
Okay. All right. So we have a lot to choose from here. We can keep adding more, but we got to pick 4
I don't
from
remember
these.
if there's anything else.
I mean, Rockstar.
I mean, like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Well, because DMA design was also like Lemmings too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also very British. Yes.
Rockstar have to be on there.
Okay, so Rockstar is a lock. Let's put them right there.
More like Lockstar.
Lockstar. Okay. I like I said, I would go with Psygnosis, but I'm willing. If you guys have 3, you will put up there before that. I am.
No,
willing
Do
to
we
do
have
that.
Hello Game?
Oh, I didn't put Hello Games, but we can do that right now.
Psygnosis, I think I would put them on there, but I know how many people right now would be like, I know
but
Psygnosis.
when we're doing these, I always feel like there's like
Legacy.
Yeah, like George Washington, right? Like that,
Rare.
Yeah, I feel
Rare
like
for
Rare
Legacy.
has to be on there.
Right, yeah, and Rare, it's like the sensibilities are baked into the games, right? The British humor is like a huge part of their appeal. Okay, well that means we have one spot
Also, like
left.
they owned an entire like generation, an era of Nintendo, basically. Where it's like they were the only company. Yeah, they were the only company that you could mistake their games for being Nintendo games.
Yep,
which is powerful.
Yep, absolutely, and that's I even go back to their NES games, which were pretty good, and they're like one of the studios that really was putting out stuff that competed with Nintendo itself. Okay, one spot left. We can put a couple up and like try to whittle. How do y'all want to approach it? We have Hello Games, Eidos, Rocksteady, Media Molecule, Creative Assembly, Traveler's Tales, Sumo, Team 17, Ninja Theory, Codemasters, Rebellion, and Frontier.
Creative Assembly.
I feel like Creative Assembly is a good one, but
it's good.
Yeah, but I feel like in terms of personally, I would go for Rocksteady, but I am very biased on that because they made 3 absolutely incredible Batman games.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we're done.
We're not going to do good games.
We will
anymore.
not make any more games. They did not make a single game after that, which is a shame. But, you know, it is what it is. And I feel like Creative Assembly has some decent ones, but...
That's the thing. I don't play
Total War
but I know that the audiences...
ravenous. Alien Isolation, and then Hyenas were the last two. But...
Oh, yeah. What about... Scroll down a little bit?
Sure.
So I can just... It cuts off at Ninja Theory. I can't remember who we've got underneath that.
Yeah,
oh, there we go. I like Rebellion.
I like Rebellion. It does feel like... I think Rocksteady, Media Molecule, Creative Assembly come to mind first. Even Hello Games come before Rebellion, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I think, Team 17, like obviously Worms and stuff, but in terms of their publishing label, they've got, they did Dredge.
They did.
And like a bunch of cool shit.
Are we doing developers or publishers?
Yeah, good question.
Is there a distinction there?
I guess we do. I guess we don't have to make a distinction, but we can.
Because Dredge was made in New Zealand. So.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of have to have Media Molecule on there.
I'm leaning towards that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those Little Big Planet games, man, they were.
Yeah. I mean, even like Dreams was incredible. I
can't I think of Sackboy as being synonymous with the PlayStation 3 and some degree 4, but when Little Big Planet was popping, it owned everything.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like it became a merchandising engine for PlayStation, where the original Funkos basically, where you could make Sackboy look like anything, and they sure as hell did it.
Yeah, and it's very much also in that like art style that I associate with like Rare, of like just the cute character with just like kind of stubby little arms. I don't know what it is about it.
All three of those games were super fun.
Yep.
Like really, really fun. So I feel like between the Little Big Planet games and then also like Dreams, like Dreams is obviously not the success story that perhaps most people wanted, but it was very cool and very impressive. They haven't made Racers.
They
also Mod Nation Tearaway. They made Tearaway, remember?
Yeah.
And that was fucking cool.
Tearaway was great.
They haven't put out a bad game. They haven't even put out a mediocre game, I would say. They put out like bangers, and they had a massive impact on the industry. And if you were in the UK, like the UK was going out of its way to like shine a light on how like prestigious it was to have
they were
Media Molecule there. Yeah. So
okay,
I feel like they should be there.
Lucy, does that sound right to you?
I think that looks good.
Then our Mount Rushmore of British developers goes as this: Rockstar, Psygnosis, Rare, and Media Molecule. And when I say it out loud, that list sounds right to me.
That sounds like a banging list. Start chiseling.
That sounds pretty good. Yes, get him up there. Go put Sackboy on a mountain right now.
It has to be made in Minecraft, though.
Of course,
yes. A real gamer.
If the dudes want to get in Minecraft and make that would be pretty funny. I just imagine what it'd like to have like a real Mount Rushmore with Sackboy's face on it, and it's horrifying. That massive mouth.
Just look out your window and see that every day. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up. Hey, what are you guys going to be doing this weekend? Just more. I mean, listen, Tam, I know you played a lot of Elden Ring. You going moving to something else now?
I'm still finding new things in that game.
Hell yeah!
Like it's wild. I stumbled into a new area by accident. I was like, oh, I had no idea this was here. There's like I found a new boss the other day that I had not seen, which was crazy. I was like, oh, you? I didn't see you here before. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing more of it, I think. And then I think I'm gonna try and play something else. I think there's a bunch of Steam Next Fest stuff that I downloaded and just haven't touched. So some of those I think might be still playable.
Yeah, some of those have turned out that they just kept on, which is great.
Yeah. And then I'll find something else. Paper Mario maybe.
Yeah, that's been fun. I'm finishing that up. I'm really happy with it. Lucy James, how about you? What do you got going on?
I am going to be on. So Skill Up is doing a Game on Cancer charity stream on Saturday. So at like 7:30 p.m. PT, me, I believe Huber from Easy Allies and Jake Baldino are going to be hopping on. So come through, donate some money.
Never can watch that on Skill Up's YouTube channel.
Yes, youtube.com/skillup. And then Monday, we've got Star Players launching, which I'm very excited about. We finally revealed it today.
Yep.
If anyone has followed my Instagram stories and have wondered why I've been at the Guy Fieri Bar and Grill in Burbank so often, that is why.
That's because you love it more than anyone I've ever met.
I love Flavortown. But no, we very excited about it. So it's going up on Monday with Monet Exchange. We've got Dominic Monaghan, Aisha Tyler, Rahul Kohli, Abubakar Salim, Johnny from Health. Like we have really and more to be announced. So that's fun.
Looking
and then
forward
this
to it.
weekend, one Benjamin Starr is coming to stay with me next week, so I have to do a deep clean.
I know what you mean. I'm like, I think I got some people coming into town for SummerSlam in like a month or so, and I'm like, I should really just get a whole area cleaned all over my house. Yeah. Hire some people to come do it for me.
We're gonna make Ben walk up and down the hills of San Francisco.
Yeah, show what a real town looks like.
We'll get the bus and we'll just meet him at the top. Like we went to see Glenn Schofield's art exhibit last night.
Yeah.
So
really,
Glenn Schofield, crazy talented.
Yes. Oh, he's straight up an artist. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
incredible artist.
Yeah, like and I remember seeing his Instagram and being like, man, why doesn't he just do art all the time?
Yeah.
And then like he emailed us out of nowhere and was like, hey, I have an art show in San Francisco. Would you like to come? I was like, hell yeah. He does like really cool art. And I think you can buy them off his website.
He's got a website.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's like super well done, high quality, like if you like Dead Space and that his studios work, like there's some stuff there that are very there's a few
there's some Nazi zombie stuff in there.
Nazi
Really
zombos. Yeah,
he did
like
Xenomorphs.
He does Xenomorphs. He's done like Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, but like really messed up versions of them. Yeah. It's really cool.
That's fantastic. He's always been really sweet to me whenever I had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah. He is an artist, like in that he's very quiet.
He's got an artist heart.
Yeah, which is wild when you think of him like as being a founding member of like, the studio that makes a Call of Duty and like, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely.
So we went there yesterday and it was at the top of a very big hill, so we might just get Ben to walk that.
That sounds like a good idea. Don't punish him with San Francisco too much. Let him take a car up to the top.
Just a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna take a little bit more of my get good here. There we go. God. Yeah, that's the good stuff. And then apparently,
I used to use the actual like the menthol Vicks vapor one.
Yeah,
with stuff in those,
right. This has got menthol, and I think this is basically just that. It says get good on it. So it says gamer inhaler, which is an incredible sentence. Everybody, you can find that on Amazon. Don't buy it on my account, please.
Use code GRUB.
Use code GRUB. Detroit made. Detroit what? For Lucy, for Tim, I'm Jeff Grubb. This is Giant Bomb. We got plenty of cool stuff happening on the website. Everybody, go check it out. There we do this. There we go. Until next time, everyone, have a good one. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.